Hello, everyone. My name is Fisher. I'm the co-founder and CTO of the Babylon project. I bumped into an ETH-centric event, so feel a little bit insecure. But Babylon is about security. And today I'm going to talk about Bitcoin staking, and of course, restaking for L2s. Okay, before I start talking, many people ask us, what is Babylon? Some say Babylon is Bitcoin L2. Some people say Babylon is eigenlayers equivalent in Bitcoin ecosystem. Are they right? Are they wrong? Well, they are not accurate. So today I would like to explain or share with everyone our perspective of roll-up and how roll-up can work with Bitcoin. And then, give some exciting updates on our project. Okay, roll-up or layer 2. If we dial back to the beginning of the roll-up journey, why did roll-up show up? Okay, the starting point is that L1 says, like ETH, says, oh, my network is congested. Transaction fee is so high, out of space, transaction cannot get in. People get frustrated. So please help me push either storage or execution, or better off, both of my main chain, so that I can become lightweight again. Okay, so this is the L1's demand. Then L2 solution comes up. The L2 developers, L2 projects will ask, okay, I help you offload your storage. I help you offload your execution. What do I get in return? Okay, what does L2 get in return? L2 get in return 3 things. First, it's the L1 security. It means that whatever dApps the L2 offer to the users, its security level is not like a tiny L2 project team's backup. It's backed up by like ETH, okay? L1 security. So the system security is justified. Second, it's the L1 users. The major L1 blockchains have millions of users. So if an L2 provides a dApp on top of this L1, it will naturally attract the users of the L1 to it, instead of bootstrapping its own user community. Okay. Finally, L1 liquidity. Like liquidity is at the heart of all the DeFi projects. With staking ETH in place, financial derivatives such as a liquid staking token, liquid restaking token will allow the L1 liquidity to flow into the L2 apps. So the L2 apps have a financial engine to keep it thrive. Okay? So this completes the circle. L1 wants something, L2 delivers. L2 wants something, L1 can give it. It completes the circle, so it's a perfect story, a perfect formula for ETH on other POS systems. Okay? But now, can this be applied to the Bitcoin ecosystem? Let's try. Let's try we use the same formula as a boilerplate and migrate to Bitcoin and see if it works or not. Hypothetically, Bitcoin, there will be some sort of roll-up smart contract at Bitcoin, and the sequencers of ZK provers will upload L2 blocks and states to the Bitcoin smart contract. Hypothetically, okay? Then BTC will say, hey, yeah, I'm congested. Please help me push storage and execution off from my Bitcoin main chain. And then L2, on the other side, will want Bitcoin security, Bitcoin users, and Bitcoin liquidity. I mean, who doesn't want Bitcoin security? Bitcoin is the most secure blockchain in the world. Who doesn't want Bitcoin users? Bitcoin is the most decentralized asset in the world. The number of Bitcoin holders, is much greater than any other blockchain. Bitcoin liquidity, of course, is untapped. $1 trillion of liquidity not activated. Okay, so from the demand side, L2 has a clear ask to Bitcoin. But does Bitcoin want storage and execution off? The answer is no. When Bitcoin is invented and implemented, it specifically trade off programmability for stability. That means it self-limits its programmability, expressiveness, and also limit its block size. So its storage size is small by design, execution almost non-exist by design. So it really has nothing to push off. Okay? So if we apply the ETH formula directly to Bitcoin ecosystem, we can safely say that Bitcoin does not need L2. L2 needs Bitcoin, but Bitcoin does not need L2. But does Bitcoin want anything at all? Or Bitcoin doesn't want anything? Indeed, Bitcoin wants something. It's just not the same as ETH. What does Bitcoin want? Are more utilities of the Bitcoin network and the Bitcoin, the asset itself. Bitcoin, the network, use the proof of work consensus. It is powered by the unparalleled proof of work hashing power. So miners may want to use this mining power to do something more. And Bitcoin itself, mainly as a storage of value, sitting there just doing nothing. Okay, so Bitcoin does want something. It is the utility of the Bitcoin network and the Bitcoin itself. Okay, so still, Bitcoin wants something, and L2 also wants something back. So if we can figure out a way to meet the demand and supply, then we can also close the circle and create a new narrative, which is Bitcoin specific L2, that is different and justified and not a copy of ETH L2. Okay, so how do we achieve this? To achieve this, we should first understand what the L2 will get. First, Bitcoin security. There are two parts of Bitcoin security. First is its proof of work power, which means if protected by Bitcoin, okay, then in order to attack an Bitcoin L2, you actually need to fork Bitcoin in order to do that. So this is Bitcoin security at the proof of work level. And then the second one is Bitcoin, the asset is at stake. So if the attacker or the sequencer, okay, has its Bitcoin staked to the system, and if you attack the system, its Bitcoin actually gets slashed, then we can say, yes, this roll-up has Bitcoin security because it has Bitcoin staked to it. Okay? Then once Bitcoin is staked, then through LST, LRT, you can automatically also get Bitcoin liquidity. With Bitcoin security, liquidity, and if L2s can give Bitcoin users a good user experience or some tokens, then Bitcoin users will also join the L2 as L2 users. Okay, so in order to build Bitcoin L2s, the key here is to enable Bitcoin security for the L2s. Then everything else will follow. Okay. Now, in order to achieve this, instead of the sequencers directly push the L2 blocks or states to L1, we add an intermediate step here, which is called a Bitcoin staked finality gadget. A finality gadget, you can understand it as like voting machine or attestation machine, which verifies the L2 blocks. And if L2 block is good, it will sign it. And this signature is backed by Bitcoin, such that if the L2 blocks or states turn out to be bad, the Bitcoin will be slashed. Okay? So this staking can be done via Babylon's trustless Bitcoin staking protocol. And also, the sequencers themselves can self-delegate to earn more trust. So then, as the L2 service provider, they stake their own Bitcoin to it to show to the users that they are confident to the service they provide. They will never rock and pull. Okay, so this provides the Bitcoin stake security. And then the Bitcoin stake finalized L2 blocks and states can then be pushed to whatever L1 you like, the existing L1s. And the only requirement here is now that the L1's roll-up smart contract needs to verify the Bitcoin signatures, and that's it. It is still the same roll-up smart contract, same logic. It's just that one more condition, which is check the Bitcoin-backed finality signatures, and that's it. This L1 doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It could be ETH, Solana, or even Babylon, or any other POS systems. Okay? So with this, you also enable something very nice for the users, which is a Bitcoin-backed super fast confirmation before L1. Because you see here, the Bitcoin finalization happens before the blocks are sent to L1, which means basically this can happen in the same machine as the sequencer. So the latency is in order of milliseconds after the L2 blocks are created by the sequencer. So the L2 users can confirm the block instead of blindly trust the sequencer after they see the Bitcoin finalized L2 blocks. Okay? So this provides, this intermediate step here provides Bitcoin stake security. Now, there are two Bitcoin securities, if you still remember. The other one is Bitcoin proof of work. Okay? So if you want to go one step further, we can also add Bitcoin proof of work security to the system, which is further timestamp the L2 blocks or the L1s to BTC using Babylon's Bitcoin timestamping protocol. So this way, the entire L2 history will be recorded in BTC, so that if anyone want to reverse the history of this L2, you literally have to go back to Bitcoin and fork Bitcoin, which is impossible. Okay? So, through Bitcoin staking as finality gadget and Bitcoin timestamping to store history of L2s on Bitcoin, we allow the L2s to enjoy Bitcoin security, including both its proof of work and Bitcoin staking. Staking also gives you liquidity, and if you are secure, Bitcoin users will come to you, so L2 will get what you want from Bitcoin. And in return, Bitcoin finds its utility for the Bitcoin network because the proof of work is used to protect L2. Also, the Bitcoin is staked as a staking asset and can earn yield. So Bitcoin is happy. L2 is also happy. This solves all the problems and complete the cycle and create a new market, which is called Bitcoin L2. Okay, now come back to the original question. What is Babylon? Babylon itself is not a Bitcoin L2. Babylon is a suite of protocols, mathematically proven protocols, that brings Bitcoin security, Bitcoin users, and Bitcoin liquidity to L2s. So that any L2s, ETH L2, Solana L2, Polygon L2, or native Bitcoin L2, they can all become legitimate and genuine Bitcoin L2s. Yeah. So this is Babylon. So Babylon is not L2, but Babylon is for L2s. Finally, a small update from our Babylon ecosystem. We launched our testnet in February. We will launch another testnet either late this month or early May, and targeting some mainnet launch in, very soon. And our ecosystem is growing very nicely from both the demand side, which are the Bitcoins, and also from the supply side, which are the Bitcoin, and the demand side, which are the POS and roll-up that looking for Bitcoin staking. And we are honored to have partnership with Outlayer to build Bitcoin roll-up as a service. Okay, thank you very much.